Okay, here we go. Okay, everyone, we are now recording. And first of all, I want to thank you all for being on. And as Neyir was just saying, what a great decision you've made to plug into your business, because that is a very key part of being successful in our business of Arbonne. Welcome to our call. Our book is called Start With Why by Sinek. And I want to introduce Neyir now. And Neyir is a executive regional vice president in my organization. And I'm extremely blessed to have her because she's an amazing leader. So I always tell my team I learn more from my success line than I can learn all by myself, right? We learn from each other. And so we learn from our success line and our upline. So Neyir is married to David for nearly 15 years, and she's worked as a musician, a classical singer, before starting her Arbonne business 8 years ago. She's a stay-at-home mom with incredible 4 boys, Maxwell, Lloyd, Lewis, and Jex, and I just love those names. But I'm going to turn the call over to Neyir so she has plenty of time to share with what she has got in store for you tonight. So Neyir, let me highlight your video first, dear, before you get started.
Okay. Thanks, Tammy.
All right. Thank you, dear.
Oh, wow, there we are. I was laughing because there's a sign over here that says boy and noise with dirt on it. Okay, here we go. Ooh, yay. I love when things work. So exciting. Okay. Can you see it? Beautiful. You can't see his face, but all right. So start with why. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So there are leaders and there are those who lead. With only 6% market share in the United States and about 3% worldwide, Apple is not a leading manufacturer of home computers. Yet the company leads the computer industry and is now a leader in other industries as well. That quote is directly taken from the book Start With Why by Sinek. I'm going to say his name wrong, but you're going to be hearing about in the next couple of weeks. Now, I want you to listen to the difference between 2 advertisements, made-up advertisements about Apple computers, or Apple, that he has in the book. The first is,
morning, I'm getting up early again because I have to go get my stuff I left at the
Neyir? Neyir? Something's going on. You went quiet.
Wait,
I'm going to mute all again. I've hit mute all, but let me do this. Let me mute all participants and make sure you unmute you. Okay, now speak now. Let me see if I can. Okay, hold on a minute.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Thank you, dear.
Yeah, okay. So the first example, we make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, user-friendly. You want to buy one. The second, everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. And we happen to make you great computers. Want to buy one? Now, I am willing to bet that you are much more intrigued by that second example than you were by the first. My goal tonight is to walk us through the way things generally work in the world and in many network marketing, social marketing companies. And then to introduce us to a concept we'll be covering in the next few weeks that will turn the status quo upside down for you. Which works because I feel like in Arbonne, we're used to doing things differently anyway. So, manipulation versus inspiration. I don't know if you can see that slide. It's really cute. It's like, you can do it. It's like this little kid saying you can do it. So what are things like now? How does the marketplace generally operate? In traditional business and products, opportunities and business opportunities are sold either by manipulation or aspiration. So there's a whole bunch of different things. And if you're a note taker, I don't think you necessarily need to write all these down, but there'll be a couple things that'll stand out to you. So what's the first one? Dropping the price. You've seen this before. Gosh, we've just seen this in North America with Black Friday sales. And my guess is that whoever your mentor is has encouraged you not to do this, not to be running big sales all the time. And I'm not saying you should never run a sale. There's definitely a time and a place for that. I run a big Black Friday sale every year. My clients know about it. I'm very clear on why I do it, and it's a client appreciation. The difficulty is when you keep running sales, your clients get used to not paying full price, and it devalues your product. It's not a very good way to conduct a profitable business. The second one is a promotion, and that's a short-term solution or an incentive to get people to buy. Now, this is not the preferred client program. That is different. That is a client or a customer appreciation program. And it's really important that your clients understand that. So it's different because once you're a preferred client, your price doesn't change. Your price is always at 80%. There's not going to be any dramatic shift there.
Neyir, sorry to interrupt you. Should your slide be changing?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not super slide heavy.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fear. We're still on the first one.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, the first one? You don't see the one manipulation and inspiration?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dave. Where's
Technique.
tech support? I'm going to try this another way then.
Okay.
All right. So the next one is fear.
There it is. I see manipulation and inspiration.
Okay, then we'll just stay there. Okay. Fear. Fear is another tactic that gets used in the marketplace. We see this all the time, right? It's like holding a proverbial gun to someone's head. It is not a good relational tactic, and we're in a belly-to-belly business with people. It's the difference between, and this is a really subtle shift, but it could be the difference between, where do you want to be in 5 years? Are you on track to get there? And where do you want to be in 5 years, and how are you going to get there? Right? There's a positive spin on that. And it's such a small thing. I think in Arbonne, we generally don't use fear. So it's really hard for us to find an example. If we said things like, instead of saying like in nutrition, poor food choices can lead to certain health conditions. If we were saying in healthy living presentation, if you keep eating those allergenic foods, you're going to get sick and you're going to get cancer and you're going to, that would be fear. That would be a fear tactic. And again, not a great relational tactic. People are not going to want to be friends with you. They're not going to want to be your client. We're about educating, and we're very thankful that that's the business that we're in. Now, aspiration. Sinek says, if fear motivates us to move away from something horrible, aspirational messages tempt us towards something desirable. But aspirational messages are the most effective with those who lack discipline or have a nagging fear or insecurity that they don't have the ability to achieve their dreams on their own. Aspirational messages can spur behavior, but for most, it won't last. I think of Carlita talking about it lasts about as long as a shower. It's also that new consultant who signs up, they're so excited, they're so gung-ho, and then nothing happens. Aspiration is more in line with what we do in Arbonne, and it's not wrong. But if it's used alone, it can lead us into imbalance and won't produce the clients and the team that you're striving for. Then we have peer pressure. Everybody's using this product, don't you want it? And we see this backfire all the time on social media when we see people blasting out things on Facebook or continually putting things in their Instagram feed, and we block them or we unfriend them, we unfollow them. And it's not, Sinek goes on to say, I cannot dispute the manipulations work, but there are trade-offs. Not a single one of them breeds loyalty. The gains are only short-term. There's a big difference between repeat business and loyalty. Loyalty is when people are willing to turn down a better product or a better price to continue doing business with you. Guys, we are in the repeat business, right? This is not a one-time purchase. These are products that people are using. They're consumable. They're using them continually. We want loyalty, and we want to be able to train our team for the same thing. You also want to inspire loyalty in your team as a leader. We've had a lot of difficult things happen in our family in the last 2 years. And it's because of the 5 years before that I put into my business that's allowed me to really be able to align my priorities with my family the last 2 years and continue to run my business, but actually grow my team. My paycheck has actually grown in those 2 years. And that really is in no small part due to client and team loyalty. I'm so fortunate. All right, so that's how things are. Now, this is how things ought to be. This is how we want things to be, the golden circle. It brings us to this better way. It's a smarter way. We all want to be better leaders, and we're all leaders. Whether we're a team of 1,000, a team of 100, or a team of 1, because we've all been a team of one. I was a team of one, guys, for a really, really long time. Like, I think over a year, I was a team of one. And then I got a district manager, and then she stopped, and then I lost my district. I mean, a team of one, you still have to lead. You still have to know where you want to go. Sinek says, there are few leaders who choose to inspire rather than manipulate in order to motivate people. Whether individuals or organizations, every single one of the inspiring leaders thinks, acts, and communicates exactly the same way. And it's the complete opposite of the rest of us. Consciously or not, how they do it is by following a naturally occurring pattern that Sinek calls the golden circle. And this dramatic difference is to start everything with why. Have you ever heard of a why before? Is that familiar at all to you? If we go back to that opening example about Apple computers, the shift is starting with everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. It's starting by telling us why. So looking at the circle, we want to start from the inside out, but in our society, we always start from the outside in. What? Everybody pretty much knows what they do. It's the products you sell, it's the job you have within your company. It's easy to figure out. So like, I sell cars. That's my job. I sell cars. I do not, but as an example. How? Now, some people know how they do what they do. It's often what makes your company or product different. How your company is better. The cars I sell are better because they're imported, or because they're American made, or we have better customer service. The why. This is where it falls apart for most of us. Very few people know why they do what they do. I mean, we hear about this all the time. We're all trying to help people as they start find their whys. If you're new to Arbonne, somebody has said to you, you got to figure out your why. You got to list out your whys, right? We don't always know what they are, and actually not all companies know, right? When Sinek says, when I say why, I don't mean to make money. That's a result. But what I mean is that, what is your purpose, cause, or belief? Why does your company exist? Why do you get out of bed every morning? And why should anyone care? Going back to Apple, they are not typical. They are very successful, and they have successfully changed the way we live. How do they do this? Because they have from the beginning started with why, and everything they do is in line with that. It isn't the products that motivate us to buy, it's who they are, what they stand for. And from that comes those products. We always want to start with why. So now you're thinking, what about Arbonne? Okay, so let's talk about Arbonne. Arbonne's why. Now, this is directly from the vision part of the website. If you'd like to know where this is, ask in the comments, and the amazing Regional Vice President, Danielle Pfeiffer, will let us know, because she found this, and I can't find it now, but she's a lot smarter than I am. So after 35 years, we understand why we are still here and why we will be here for many more. This combination of amazing products and incredible people who work together to better themselves and the world. Or the power to transform your life and the lives of others. Or directly from our founder, Peter Mork. Arbonne is a place where ordinary people do extraordinary things every day to enhance not only their lives, but also the lives of so many others. It's all the same things said different ways. Guys, do you know how fortunate we are that this is the why of our company? That's the why. That's who we are. It's not about making skincare and nutrition that's vegan and gluten-free. We do this, but that's not our why. And that allows us to do so much more. Okay, so what is our how? I love this because it's Peter again, okay? So our how are these 3 italicized paragraphs. To develop, and this was, you'll see here that Peter refined these ideas. These were his guiding principles. To develop, produce, and market skincare and related products unparalleled in quality, purity, safety, and beneficial results. And to create and organize meaningful, challenging opportunities for people seeking financial, professional, social, and cultural rewards superior to anything available in the industry. And to contribute locally, nationally, and internationally to the improvement of our ecological, social, and cultural environment. If we only had 2 of these and not all 3 of them, we would not be Arbonne. I mean, Peter Mork was an entrepreneur and a visionary in the personal care industry in the same way that Steve Jobs was in the computer industry. I firmly, firmly believe that. And I firmly believe that history will show that. I mean, this is phenomenal. You know, it's funny because most of us focus, oh, nope, we have to switch slides. Wait for it. Okay, so our what? We all know what our what is, right? Our what are our products. Our what is pure, safe, and beneficial. Our what is the best product we have. It's our business opportunity. And it's funny because it's what most of us focus on, and it's generally where we start from, right? And it's so many of us start falling in love with the products and we build a business. But would we have fallen in love with the products in the same way if the consultant wasn't Arbonized and loved Arbonne and in some way in their heart understood what our company stood for and was able to share in the way that they shared? I have a health and wellness business with Arbonne and I teach and train others to do the same thing, right? Is what we typically say, or some variation of that. It's what we do, but it isn't why we do it. And it won't get us where we want to go, right? So where do we want to go? Winning hearts and minds. Okay, how do we do this? This is all good information in the abstract, but how does it apply to us in more detail? We all want to belong. In fact, that desire is so strong that Sinek says we will go to great lengths, do irrational things, and often spend money to get that feeling. Think about all the ways that you belong, or all the groups you belong to. So we have gyms, people belong to country clubs, there's CrossFit boxes. I have been amazed with the CrossFit phenomenon, and I really think some of it is because there's a community. There's a family involved in that. There's groups for your kids. There's groups for your animals. Lots of people have a religious affiliation, a synagogue, a church, a meeting group. And then on Facebook, there's all sorts of different groups that you can be a part of, right? I said earlier that a lot of things has happened in our lives in the last 2 years, and one of my twins is deaf. And it is amazing that on Facebook, we have a local parents group of deaf and hard of hearing kids. And that is a gift to me because it's not only a place I belong, it's people who understand one of my whys, right? That's the beauty of Arbonne. It's a group of people who understand, what you're trying to accomplish in life. I have no idea. There's an alarm going off, guys. It's my son's watch. We're going to ignore it. I'm hoping you can't hear it. And when a company is clear on their why, and it is in line with what we, as the consumer or potential consultant, believe, we will sometimes, as Sinek says, go to extraordinary lengths to include those products or brands in our lives. I mean, for heaven's sakes, we just sold how many units of blackberry fizz and chai protein that none of us had ever even tasted. And our entire sales model is try before you buy. I mean, think about that. We're drawn to leaders and organizations that are good at communicating what they believe. Their ability to make us feel like we belong, to make us feel special. Because we're special. Every one of you is special. Safe and not alone is part of what gives them the ability to inspire us. It is the new consultant who just appears to take off in their business, because when Arbonne's why is well communicated and aligns with their why, it's a no-brainer. Think about Carlita. I think that her particular background as a successful pediatric nurse practitioner, pretty sure the why in that is helping others. So getting the why of Arbonne was like perfect alignment, right? Furthermore, on belonging in his book, Success Happens, Dr. Tom Barrett tells us that people join network marketing companies for one of three reasons: revenue, affiliation, or recognition. And those last two only make sense within a group to which you belong. You affiliate to that group and you're recognized within that group. Okay, brain structure. The principles of the golden circle, Sinek says, are much more than a communications hierarchy. Its principles are deeply grounded in the evolution of human behavior. The power of why is not opinion, it's biology. The golden circle corresponds with, I think we've got somebody who is making a snack and is not muted. I want a snack. I'm going to make a chocolate chai protein brownie after this. The power of why is not opinion, it's biology. So the golden circle corresponds with the three major levels of the brain. Now, I'm amazed by the stuff that they know about how our brain works. It just amazes me. So the newest part of the brain, the neocortex, is that what level. It takes care of language, rational analytical thought. We all know that part of our brain, right? It's that part that can spin, that can, there's a fancy word, proliferate or something on one thing. It's that part of your brain that starts off great because you're reading or listening to a training, and the next thing you know, you've been thinking Arbonne for 3 hours, but you haven't got anything done. It obviously has a place, but in our business, it's the next part of the brain we really need to understand. The middle two sections, the limbic brain, controls feelings such as trust, loyalty, and human behavior. And you can see here that it corresponds to that how and that why. So the neocortex is the what, the limbic brain is the how and the why. I skipped here, sorry. And it's also our decision-making center, but it has no capacity for language. This is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that moves us quickly before we overthink things. So here's the trick. We can talk, I can talk and talk and talk, but we really need to appeal to the limbic part of the brain. Certainly the part that says no when it's confused and overwhelmed is most likely the limbic part. And I'm sure that the pictures speak to the limbic part, the idea of stories tell but pictures sell. All right, clarity of why, discipline of how, and consistency of what. So let's go back to that golden circle on its own, which needs to not only exist, but as Sinek says, be in balance and in the right order. And let's see how this all applies more specifically to our businesses. Okay, so the clarity of why. He goes on to say, if the leader of the organization can't clearly articulate why the organization exists in terms beyond its products or services, then how does he expect the employees to know why to come to work? How would Petter have been able to get any funding, our founder, to start making products, or even scientists to work with him and formulate those initial 19 products in our first catalog or that they first sold without a strong why? Or we might say in modern terms, a crystal clear vision. Other trainers will be spending time this month helping us all discover and distill our personal whys, and I cannot wait for that. Furthermore, how can we expect prospects to jump in and join our businesses if we aren't even clear on why and Arbonne's why, our own why and Arbonne's why? People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it, right? People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. That's why we always talk about people wanting to do business as a client or consultant with people they know, like, and trust. That is the path to a relationship that builds loyalty. Obviously, our products need to live up to their why, and they do. And that start with why mentality provides an amazing platform for growth and flexibility. It's why Apple could start with computers, and now we buy their watches, and we get our music through them. It's why Arbonne started as skincare, not even anti-aging skincare, and now a massive part of our business is nutrition. It's why we can have a brand new Rescue and Renew line that is 100% in line with Arbonne's why, and it wasn't worked on by Petter himself. Conversely, when an organization, Sinek says, defines itself by what it does, that's all it will ever be able to do. Would we all have these thriving nutritional businesses if Petter's why had been improve the lives of clients and consultants with the best skincare? No. Have you ever heard of Blockbuster Video? So I'm 42, and as a child growing up in the 80s, when I was a kid, that's how we got our movies. So an awesome Friday or a great Friday night was completely ruined if you went to take out the newest release and all the copies had already been taken out. And if you look at commercials from that period, I had a nostalgic moment of watching a commercial. They call themselves the perfect video store. Think about how limiting that is. If instead they had said your destination for at-home entertainment, maybe we would be playing video games on their devices and streaming from their platform instead. So it's funny because in a sense, once you do the work to discover your why, you know it and it's simple. But then comes the discipline of how. Hows, Sinek says, are your values or principles that guide how to bring your cause to life. How we do things manifests in the systems and processes within an organization and the culture. It is because of the altruistic why developed by Petter that led him to those clear manifestations of how that influences everything we do. Think about meaningful, challenging opportunities, superior to anything available in the industry. Does that sound familiar? It's one of Petter's guiding principles, one of the hows. How many times have we been told by people in various industries that Arbonne's culture is different, unparalleled, unlike anything they have ever seen? Contribute locally, nationally, and internationally to the improvement of our ecological, social, and cultural environment. Guys, that is Arbonne's charitable foundation. It's not giving money or just giving products, but changing and empowering teams, being on the ground, working with people, right? Transforming lives. It's our carbon neutral shipment endorsement from UPS, our Forestry Stewardship Council emblem on every catalog, and I'm pretty sure it's still in every box. I didn't check that. Guys, you need to know our website. You need to know the catalog. They are both a wealth of information and the places that you should be surfing from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. if you have a minute. In our culture of generosity with training, there's nothing held back, nothing we won't share with uplines, success lines, sidelines. When something's working, our leaders in our home office, they want to know and they want to roll it out. Think about the 30 and 30, right? Guys, that isn't corporate. That is Arbonne. That is our why manifesting in our how. The how is, Sinek says, the discipline to never veer from your cause, to hold yourself accountable to how you do things. That's the hardest part. That's the discipline, right? Do you know our CEO? Do you know who Kay Napier is? You may be super new, so you might be like even thinking to yourself that her name's not Kay Napier anymore. It's Kay Zanotti Neyir. But do you know the leadership we have at corporate? I really encourage you in those few minutes you have, after 9 p.m., that you spend 5 minutes to learn about Kay and our corporate team. It's on the website. There's a link called Leadership. It will help you build belief in our amazing head office. I want you to understand that our corporate team is also working on that discipline of how. When 8 years ago or so, when we relaunched the cosmetics line, we had these, we have them now, the bottles or the little containers that the powders come in. And they were square lids at that point. But they were black and they were kind of fun and sparkly and shiny. And Kay was overseas and she was at the company that made the packaging, not the products. Products are made in North America and the United States, the packaging. And they were taking her through the process. And at the very end of the process, they brought her a mask. And they asked her to put it on. And she was like, why? And they told her that the process to make the lids shiny was toxic. So what did Kay do? She said, stop right now. We don't need that. We don't need shiny lids. No, we don't want your clients, your employees exposed to that. She didn't need to check with the leadership council. She didn't need to check with the other CFOs and see that, she didn't need to check with anybody because part of her job, part of corporate's job is to that discipline of how. And she knew that that wasn't in line in any way with Arbonne's why. How does this translate to us in the field? It means sharing the business opportunity, create and organize meaningful, challenging opportunities. That's our job. Our job is to share with others. It means always being honest, knowing what Arbonne is and isn't, skincare and related products unparalleled in quality, purity, safety, and beneficial results. Does it mean we are chemical free? Nope, it doesn't. Read the catalog. Know the catalog. Know the videos on the source. Know the videos on the Arbonne corporate YouTube channel. We are the ideal blend of science and nature. I could go into a whole segue about how natural isn't necessarily safer. Opium is natural. It's part of a flower. Water is technically a chemical. I mean, you need to know this kind of stuff. Don't spend a lot of time on it. It will come. It will come if you just study the catalog. For values or guiding principles to be truly effective, Sinek says, they have to have verbs. It's not integrity. It's always do the right thing. It's not innovation. It's look at the problem from a different angle. Articulating our values as verbs gives us a clear idea. We have a clear idea of how to act in any situation. Having integrity is respecting relationships. It's sending people back to whomever introduced them to Arbonne. Yet, always remembering that the client and the prospect decide, not us. It's not making medical claims because we're not doctors. It's sharing our passion from the heart. We can share our experience, definitely. It's really listening to others. It's being in relationship with our clients and teams and not treating them like dollar signs and employees. And then the consistency of what? Sinek says a why is just a belief. That's all it is. Hows are the action you take to realize that belief, and what are the results of those actions? Everything you say and do, your products, services, marketing, PR, culture, and whom you hire. And that's why, guys, you see tasteful before and afters on social media. You don't see blasts of them that fearmonger, if you don't use this, then you will wrinkle. We may say that in our minds, but you don't see that, right? It's why you don't see us selling products on social media, but cultivating relationships with people, which in turn into sales. It's why people might say something to you that a consultant from another company has badmouthed your company. And you'll smile sweetly and you'll tell them why you love Arbonne, and you won't say anything negative about the other company, knowing that we have a clause in our policies and procedures that instructs us not to say bad things about other companies. And guys, it's not because we need that to keep us in line. That is who we are. That is what we do. We rise above. We show grace. We live confident, knowing that our company, our culture is unparalleled because we always, always are in line with our why. I don't think it's any coincidence that Ashley Good, our current chief sales officer, was our previous head of legal. Her training, her job, her background is knowing every in and out of what Arbonne stands for and making sure corporate adheres to that. as well, of course, making sure that we adhere to the law, which obviously. And it's our success plan, which Petter took 7 years to develop and which recently has been slightly tweaked. It's that Mercedes-Benz cash program for VPs. Okay, clearly I've been talking for too long now. And this one amazes me because it's such a direct fulfillment of one of Petter's hows. You know, initially, way back when a VP promoted, they were given a Mercedes from corporate. It wasn't new, they were just handed over a Mercedes from corporate. And then as time went on, Petter said, you know what? We're better to give them money to buy a new or used Mercedes because that's going to grow their credit rating. That's better for the consultant. Guys, that wasn't financially more profitable for the company, but it was doing the right thing. And it was in line with our why and our how. Okay, balance. Sinek tells us what authenticity means is that your golden circle is in balance. And guys, I know that we're going over a little bit now, so I totally understand if you have other commitments and you need to hop off. We're recording this so you can always catch up at the end later. So what authenticity means is that your golden circle is in balance. It means that everything you say and everything you do, you actually believe. When belief enters the equation, he says, passion exudes from the salesperson. It is this authenticity that produces the relationships upon which all the best sales organizations are based. Maybe that's why we say we are a product-driven company, why we encourage new consultants to urbanize their homes, why PCs who've experienced the 30 days or the RE9 set with the Ultra make the most amazing consultants. It's why we write our whys for that belief and authenticity to be, well, authentic. When we have imbalance in our golden circle, we lack authenticity, which means no strong relationships, which means no trust, he says. I think we've all had that experience, right? Either as we grew in this business or when we were in other sales situations, when you feel that lack of authenticity, like they're just not listening to what you're saying, or you're just a dollar sign for somebody. Or as you grow in your business, you look back and realize that you weren't connecting with people because you weren't clear. Your belief wasn't there. Your why wasn't clear. He goes on to say, when why, how, and what are in balance, authenticity is achieved and the buyer, or we could add the prospect, feels fulfilled. When they are out of balance, stress or uncertainty exists. So when we know we're doing the activity, we're getting in front of our 40 faces, and no one is purchasing or signing on to do the business, we need to take a serious look and see if we're creating that uncertainty. Think of it this way. Prospecting is like dating. And no one wants to date someone who isn't kind of clear on why, who they are, right? Their reason for being. So when it comes to decision making, and ultimately that is what we're asking people to do on a relational level, to decide to become a client, host, or to become a consultant, that decision isn't being made by facts and figures. That knowledge can help to give your limbic brain confidence as long as you don't confuse it. But our job is to be so clear on the why of what we do and what Arbonne does that we bypass all that thinking and move people over to the instinctual part of their brain. Either way, a clear yes or no is much better. And then, of course, if they say no, you're going to get permission to follow up with them, right? And you're going to put it in your calendar respectfully. But a yes or no that's clear is much better than an overthought yes, which will likely really turn into an MIA, missing an Arbonne consultant, because they've intellectually convinced themselves. And that doesn't mean that the same consultant won't be great at the business, but you need to reconnect with them and ask them questions and puzzle out where that missing piece is. You know, I am super excited for this journey of self-development that we're all on. I was so heartened to see when I was looking through the vision part of our site, this comment. If you spent time with Petter in the early days, you would see his passion, integrity, and desire to do the right thing was as contagious as his desire to help everyone become financially secure. The culture of Arbonne evolved organically. Everyone in the family felt important, supported, and empowered to achieve their dreams. At Arbonne, personal transformation was how the home office measured success. Start with why. That's our path. And I want to close by playing you this very short video from Arbonne, which, I shouldn't full screen. Can you see it now, Tammy? No?
No, not yet.
All right, no, then I'm going to unfull screen it because I think that that's the problem. Can you see it now? Can you see it now?
No.
Really?
All I see is the balance slide.
Well, you might just have to listen to it then, guys.
And all the products in your daily routine were made with pure, botanically based, scientifically tested ingredients, everything vegan, gluten-free, nothing harmful. Everything made from a blend of science and nature, delivered straight to your door. And then you found using these incredible products puts you on the road to a pure, healthy lifestyle. And since healthy is the new happy, that's exactly how you started feeling. Then, all you wanted to do was share that feeling with everyone you know and love, because that feeling of pure joy changes everything and becomes wonderfully contagious. So let's simplify. Pure products, pure lifestyle, pure joy. That pretty much describes our bond.
And it's right there. It's right at the end of that video. Okay, thanks so much, guys, for taking time to be with us tonight.
Neyir, that was absolutely outstanding. You know, I just know that Peter would be so proud of his why, that it's continuing today, almost 38 years later. I mean, that is just amazing. I just want to also mention that Carlita wants to share. Kay Zanotti was in Oklahoma City, and she shared her why. And so, Carlita, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I was just going to share because and I hope I can do it without crying, but I just think about those guys that work up at corporate, you guys. And even though it's Arbonne is better than most corporate offices, they still work corporate America for all of us. And I'm just so grateful for that. But we were having breakfast with Kay, and Miranda Burcham asked her, she's like, Kay, why do you get up and go to work every day? What motivates you to get up and do what you do for us every day? And Kay said that it was because she had sacrificed her family to work in corporate America. And she is married now to a wonderful man, John Zanotti, but she suffered a divorce in her earlier years to her first husband, and, you know, time with her family and she thinks that that's honestly why she ended up getting divorced, because of her success in corporate America and the time that it took away from her and all that that did to her family to be able to chase success in her career. And she said, I don't want other people to have to do that. So I know when I get up, makes me cry. When I get up and go do what I do every day, I'm helping other people not have to do and sacrifice what I did. And I was like, hey, you need to share that with the world. You need to share that with us at Arbonne so people know your heart and why you do what you do for us every day. And you guys, we can't go back and fix it. And she's happily married now, and she loves what she does. But you guys, we have it best on this side. And it's because she wants men and women today to be able to be a part of their families' lives and to have healthy, happy, pure, perfect families that she didn't get to have because she was chasing, success in corporate America. So I just thought it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard shared in Arbonne. And especially when it comes from our top leader that is leading the way, and it talks about her why. So it goes perfectly, I felt like, with tonight's training with you, Neyir, and just a beautiful job in helping us connect that and with, our heart with what it is that we do every single day, and to help us connect with other people's hearts and what it is they want for their lives. So thank you, my dear. I'm so grateful for the gift of you on this journey. I love you.
Love you too, Carlita. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It sure is. And Neyir, I want you to make sure you take the time to read the chat.
I've been trying to read through.
It is so sweet. And you've really touched so many hearts tonight by us taking the time to spend on this training, because it all starts with why. Everything we do every single day of our lives. I mean, everything I do, I've learned to say why. I mean, no matter what it is, in my home, in my business, everything. So I think if we all do that, we can, live a healthier, better life.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited time to read.
We're all going to discover our own whys as we go through this book too, and how they marry with Arbonne.
Yes.
And how powerful that will make us all.
Absolutely. It's a great book, and I'm so grateful. I think it was Danielle that had suggested us to do this book, so shout out to Danielle for that.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Great job. Look at
Awesome.
you, girl. 4
Thanks,
boys
sweetie.
and just all this. I mean, it's just amazing.
Oh, I was laughing as you said thank you for, Danielle saying thank you to Kim Mason, and I should give another shout out because I feel Danielle was super helpful in helping me prepare this. And I feel like I should turn the computer around and show you my house. It's a disaster. My husband was super sweet because I'm in the best light of the house. He's like, I really want to clean the kitchen for you, honey, before I go to bed, but it'll be so loud. I'm like, it's fine. I'll be pumped after the training. It'll be fine.
Well, someone made a comment, what a beautiful background you have there too. So, I mean, it just looks so pristine and perfect.
It's just the only part of the house that ever looks good. But this is my sign. You probably can't. It says boy, a noise with dirt on it.
Oh.
And I have my other sign up there from Danielle that says I can't clean a house and save the world at the same time.
That's great. You guys are all
Thank you
such
so
wonderful
much, guys.
Love you, Neyir, and thank you
Love
so
you
much.
guys.
Thank
Love you
you
too,
for
Tammy.
sharing.
Okay. Bye.
Good night.